Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have a special episode for you guys. We are actually in Big Spring, Texas at the one and only Train Car Cigar Bar, man. We got Brent here with us. How you doing, brother?
I'm great. It's great to be back on the show. I'm loving what you guys are doing, Rob.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. We're huge fans of what you guys do. We always have been. And we were talking about it before the show started, trying to figure out how we actually met, because we met before Cigar Talk, and we met, I'm pretty sure, before the train car.
I think
because you were still working
so.
at your other job, and you were talking about, and then bam,
and yeah, we wound up doing both, and then I did actually do both jobs for almost 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, we opened in December of 2016, and I finally only did this solely in August of 2018. So,
wow.
Yep. So just short of 2 years.
Wow.
Which
time
was a long time.
doesn't it?
It's wild.
It's
wild.
like you look back and be like, wow, we've been doing this a long time. And in retrospect, it's not a long time, but it is a long time because of everything that's gone on in between.
It feels like both. It feels like it just happened.
Right.
But it also is like it's a whole nother lifetime that we've been doing this now.
It's like part of it is the time and part of it is the grind. Because, I mean, you've done so much.
It's a hustle. You got to hustle, but it's a good hustle, and it's fun working for yourself and doing your own thing.
It is. It definitely has its benefits.
So
also, you're the one that's responsible for everything.
Yep.
So,
well, that's the biggest thing is that I think people are always like, "Oh, I'd love to own a cigar shop."
Because all you do is sit around and smoke.
That's what they think, and I'll tell you what. I have enjoyed a lot fewer cigars here than I thought I would or anticipated I would. I might have smoked as many, but get full on enjoyment when you go to a lounge and you sit and you talk. And I get that quite often still. But I'm always, looking over your shoulder, making sure that a trash doesn't need to be emptied, making sure a customer doesn't need to be helped, making sure somebody new didn't show up and that whoever's working is with another customer, that if I'm here, I can't see them just sitting there kind of, waiting, that I jump into action. And so, we'll be enjoying our time. And
right. You know what's funny is at the Leaf before they moved, now I'm always in the back, so I don't see a lot of people, but I would be up front and like you'd see guys come in and it's like they didn't have a lot of experience, and I'd start talking to them, finding out what they've smoked. And it's like I just that personality type where I can't let go.
Exactly.
It's like I got to help if I can help.
Yeah, you'd be that liaison and you'd walk them through and tour the humidor and do some of that.
It's to the point now. I was at the Leaf yesterday, and on my way out, a customer was like, "Hey, what special cigar you got for me this week?" And I was like, "Do I know this guy?" And apparently, I turned him on to like 2 or 3 sticks before, and I was like, "Well, have you smoked this? Because if you haven't smoked this, you're missing out." And then we went into a 10-20 minute conversation, and I was like, "Oh, my wife's calling, I gotta go." But yeah, that's just the camaraderie that we share with each other. And you don't find that in very many communities
and other businesses. No. Well, I mean, we have that, and I imagine almost every shop does have that. Those customers that when they see somebody going through the humidor, they'll walk them along if there isn't someone there to do it. Say they're tied up with someone else, or for us, whether you're making a drink or you're delivering cutting and lighting a cigar for somebody. So,
absolutely,
people just jump in and do that, and it's a great community.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we're gonna get right back to Brent, the train car. Camilla, she wasn't able to join us because we just had a freak winter storm, but we love her too. Oh yeah, she's part of the family team.
We wouldn't be here without her. So she's, yeah.
So anyway, we wanted to say thank you so much to our Patreons. You guys make the show possible every week. We have so much fun hanging out with you guys in the Discord. I mean, dude, if you want to find a rowdy crowd, our Patreons are a rowdy crowd. We've nicknamed them the Light 'em Up Crew.
Light 'em Up Crew.
And they smoke a ton of cigars, and they're all over the United States, man. I mean, California, Texas, Boston, New York. I mean, just everywhere.
It's cool.
And, being able to hang out with those guys, it's like a morning ritual. I get on every morning while I'm drinking my coffee, smoking a cigar, and chat with those guys. And it starts rowdy, and it finishes rowdy in the evening. It's crazy. So we want to say thank you to all you guys. We do have a screen at the end with our Patreon's names so everybody can see who our Patreon's on. Thanks for them, giving them a shout out. We got a couple of new Patreons we want to mention. We've got the Young Buck. He goes by, his real name's John, but he goes by Young Buck because that's what we called him, because he's 20. I think he's 21.
Wow.
He's hanging out with all these old dudes.
Yep.
And then we got a new guy named Gunny, who's a retired Marine gunner. So we want to say thank you to him. He is one of our upper echelon King memberships. And then Luke Henshaw, which we call Cool Hen Luke. He's also a King level. And if you watch the video starting next week, if you're a King level, we take an 8x10 photo that you send us and we hang it on the studio wall, and it will be there forever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
We want to say thank you to Patreons. Thank you guys. And then let's talk about our sponsors right quick. We got 3 great sponsors. The Leaf sponsors the show. That's our home shop. We're there on a regular basis. And dude, I can't wait for you to get over there.
I haven't seen the new shop. I want to see the new shop. I'm excited for Jay. I think that's awesome. Like
what I thought it was going to be and what it turned out to be is night and day difference. And it's night and day difference way, way in a better way. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Because when you're sitting back watching someone design a shop, you're like, oh no, I do this. Oh no, I do that. And then when he opened it, I was like, dude, you nailed it. This is perfect. And the humidor, dude, I want to say it's like maybe 18 by 32.
Oh, wow.
And it's packed.
That's awesome.
And it's all Spanish cedar. I mean, you don't even want to
just to walk in.
You walk in and you're like the angels. What? So they take good care of us. If you want to visit them, they are at 1166 North 2nd Street in Abilene, Texas. If you're on the interstate, you should definitely swing on by. I promise you, you'll enjoy a nice, relaxing atmosphere. They've got cigars. They've got cigar accessories. They've got pipes. They've got pipe smoke. They got a great lounge, and they have, to me, the best coffee in Abilene.
I was going to make sure you mentioned the coffee.
Oh, dude, you've had some of their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to find coffee that good.
Agreed.
And so anyway, give a shout out to Jay and all those guys over there. You can look down the show notes. There's all the connectivity information available. And then also, we've got Case Elegance. Have you heard of them?
I'm not familiar, no.
So they do man stuff. And what I mean by that is they make boxes for watches. They do leather bags. They do humidors, and we're getting ready to do a review. I know we've been saying that for like 4 weeks, but we've had one. I got COVID, then the winter storm. It's just been a big balling up. But anyway, we're going to do a video review this week of the Octador. And it's called the Octador because it's actually 8-sided.
Really?
But it's a rectangle. But the edges are, what would you call that, diagonal?
Okay, like a chamfered edge or something.
Right.
Okay.
So that creates a snug fit. And then they also inlaid magnets in there so it's tight.
That's cool.
And it's about this tall by about that big. And it's got a drawer in the bottom for all of your accessories, lighters, cutters, your travel case. And it also has a digital readout of your humidity on the outside. So anyway, we're giving one of those away.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we'll probably throw some sticks in there for the winner to smoke too. But we're going to be doing a video on that. And we'll tell you how you can have a chance to win that, guys. And then we have McAuliffe Cigars. And you guys, I mean, what can I say that I haven't said about McAuliffe? They make great cigars. They care about the boutique scenario with your brick and mortars. They are that relationship. I don't know if you know all the things they've done for their brick and mortars, but it's blown away. Then they have an ambassador program. If you're not an ambassador for McAuliffe and you'd like to, look down the show notes, click on the link, and it's free. You sign up. They send you your own challenge coin with your own number on it.
Get your personalized number.
Yeah. And they have a great Facebook group too that's just for the ambassadors. And those guys are a great community. I know tons of them. I hang out with a bunch of them online. You know, isn't it online cool that you can now hang out with people that you couldn't before?
Keeps us connected, man.
I never thought I would have really close friends in New York. I've never been to New York. Love to go, but I've never been. So anyway, if you'd like to become an ambassador, look down the show notes. You can find a link down that'll take you over there. You can sign up and get your own challenge coin and check out their line of cigars. The Medallia is one of my go-tos, but they have a line of like 17 facings. So quality cigars. Did you know they have a machine that tests the draw on every stick?
Really?
Like Perdomo does.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And you're never going to get a cigar that's plugged. And when you light up a cigar and it's plugged, what does that do to you emotionally?
It's disappointing.
It's disappointing. Because that's the very get-go, and you're just like, oh. So anyway, all those sponsors are in the show notes. Check them out. Click on the link and go check them out, man. We appreciate it. So let's get on with the Train Car. When did you open?
We opened up December of 2016, so it's been over 4 years now.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's been a fun ride.
It's been a crazy ride.
That is true. I mean, too true.
Because when I think about the Train Car, the one thing that I think about, first of all, you have a lounge that's like no other. It's actually in train cars.
That's right.
I mean, that's awesome. You have a very good selection of cigars. Like I've been to lounges that have humidors that are like 5 times, 6 times bigger than what you have. And I walk through there and I can't hardly find cigars I want to smoke. I come here and it's like, dude, you got that. Oh, wow. You got that. I mean, you're Caldwell, what do we smoke? Or what was I smoking? The box, the soapbox.
Oh yeah. Yeah. With the Dissident cigars, we've got, the Oveja Negra stuff. We've got the Nica Sueño stuff, Roma Craft and Black Label, those two. Texas companies, which people love that they're a Texas company, but they've got their own factories in Nicaragua. Fuente, Padron, LFD, Crowned Heads. I mean, I can keep going down the list. Our Tatuaje's been picking up finally, which is good. That's one of the brands that we brought in early on. And I didn't have a lot of movement at first. We've been really, really growing with that lately. So that's been fun. Illusion as well.
Everywhere I've been on Tatuaje, people love them once they explore the line. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? It's like a lot of people are scared of them because it's like they've never heard of them. And it's like, oh, that's, and the price point's a little above most. So people are like, I've never heard of that. I'm not going to spend that. But then when they get around people who've smoked them, it's like, oh, people are talking about these sticks.
It's got a bit of I don't know if cult's the right word, but I mean, it's
pretty close.
It's
pretty close. And then you have Roma Craft coming out your ears.
Oh, yeah. So
you've always had Roma. Did you start with Roma?
Not when we opened, but as soon as we were able to. And we only had 7 facings to start, and we've got 40 plus now. As far as they were able to work with us, and that was one of the things that there's some brands I just can't bring in here because they have set requirements, and my shop can't accommodate that.
Sure.
I don't have the space operating out of train cars. They're internal, 9 foot by 49 foot. I only have so much space. And so if someone wants to get in with us, they have to be able to be flexible. I've had to be extremely flexible to keep this business, to get it started, to build it. And we couldn't just set a plan, never diverge from the plan. I mean, we had to tuck and roll wherever we needed to and move and shake. And it's been great, but the vendors that worked with us, it's really worked out in their favor as well as ours.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've grown their brand here at your shop and you've expanded the line. I mean, with Roma, you have 40 something facings.
Yeah, we have every single core size, and then LEs, whatever we have keeps coming through. You're doing the Venus right now.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're smoking right quick. So, I'm smoking the Roma Craft. You said it's the Venus?
It's the Venus Aquitaine. Yeah,
it's the Aquitaine, which I love Aquitaine. It's one of my go-tos when I'm smoking Roma. And I've smoked just about all of them. I think, I've never smoked a Sabertooth.
Okay.
Isn't that, what line is that?
That's the Aquitaine also, the barber pulled Aquitaine.
Okay, I've never had that one. But I tell you what, I've had the Black Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic cigar. And then one of my other favorites is the Genetic Deformity. I'm a big fan of that cigar. It's not too big because that's a strong blend.
The Neanderthal is phenomenal, but it's got some strength to it. It's really easy to smoke, so it's a little bit deceiving. But yeah,
That's why I like I guess genetic deformity is what you call it.
Well, that one there is actually, it's a barber pole and it's got different wrapper. Normally the Neanderthal has the Mexican San Andreas wrapper on it. And so the genetic deformity is a barber pole and it's got a different wrapper. So it's a really different taste than the other Neanderthals.
I did not know
that. You can get that small size. So I've got the HOXD, the SGP, and the HN always in stock. Well, I say always unless you want to buy them all from me. I will gladly sell out on any cigar I have if you're willing to buy them all.
I know you are. So let's talk about, you've been in business roughly 4 years. And I mean, really, you guys kind of hit a home run coming out of the gate. And I think one of the reasons is because you guys didn't have a cigar shop here. And then it was a combination of you have a very unique location. You have the train cars, but just outside you have a full patio, and then you walk down in the courtyard. I mean, how many people that have been here at one time?
Hundreds. You can have hundreds of people here smoking cigars, having drinks.
Y'all got a stage for live music.
So, over 2 years, we did the stage. It was a 2-stage build. So we built the stage the first year, and then the next year we wound up building the canopy over the top. I say first year, after a year in business. The first year of music, I had a picture the other day I just shared of a friend, George Bancroft, a really great musician. And he's playing, he's just standing on the patio in front of the caboose.
Nice.
And then, a year later we had the stage, and next year we went up with the covered roof over the top of the stage, and it's just been growing.
Very cool, man. I'll tell you an artist, if you haven't heard of him, you need to try to get here.
All right.
Charlie Crockett.
I'm not familiar. I'll have to look that up.
Look him up. He's playing at the Lumber Yard in Roscoe in April the 30th, I believe.
All right.
I'll be there.
There you go.
So anyway, I don't know how famous he is, because I don't know anybody that knows him unless you know me or you know Jake Smith, because we're the only two people I know that know of him. But he's like, I want to guess he's probably 23, but he plays country music that's like from the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Got his own style, looks kind of different, but he's great musician, great artist. So you knocked a home run out of the gate earlier, but tell us about some of the struggles, as time's gone by.
All right. Well, that was actually one of the interesting things, is that right from the bat, I wanted a cigar shop. That was my thing. My wife, Camilla, she's brilliant. We're a really good team. And she said, it's a small town. We knew that. We didn't know if a cigar shop would do it. So right off the bat, she had said that, we need to be a cigar bar and do the drinks ourselves instead of someone bringing their own bottle of scotch, their own, whatever. If any drinks you have here, you have to buy them through us.
Right.
And so it works out really well for us that it's a cigar bar, but it's not a bar that sells cigars. We're still a cigar bar, a cigar shop where you can also get drinks, and you can have high-end scotch, you can have bourbons, you can have wine.
Because I don't even consider you to be a bar. I consider you to be a cigar shop.
Exactly.
That sells alcohol.
That's how I want us to stay. I don't want to be a bar with cigars. I want to be cigars with a bar.
And that's the way I've always seen you guys.
Exactly.
It's like, when I tell people about this shop, most of the time I tell them about the cigars. And then at the end, I go, oh, yeah, and they sell alcohol.
And we do get that. We'll get people that come in that have no idea that we had a bar because they thought they were coming for the cigars, and that makes me proud. That's fun. But the alcohol helped keep our doors open right off the bat, and as we did that. So it was interesting, because this year with COVID, then the alcohol is actually what shut our doors, and that we were actually at a bigger disadvantage than had we just been a cigar shop. But we never would have been to that point to be disadvantaged had we not had the bar to start. So
it was a catch-22.
It really was a catch-22 on that. But not being able to open our doors, even to sell a cigar, because we had that 51% mixed beverage alcohol permit, it was dangerous against what we were doing as a business. So we did have to we had to, again, change, and we cut our bar in half. We turned it sideways, more like a counter. We added kitchen supplies, wound up doing food service. We do a charcuterie tray, which is like meats and cheeses, dried fruits, crackers. It's delicious. We'll do lavash. It's a Mediterranean dish. It's kind of like a pizza, and it's nothing like a pizza. It's a flatbread cracker with Havarti cheese melted on top, and then different toppings. And then we'll also do snack mix.
So it's pizza without the tomato paste?
With no sauce. Yes. So there's no sauce. So it's one of my good friends and customers. He jokes and calls it adult Lunchables. Well, no, that's the charcuterie. The other one, but yeah, it's cheese and crackers, but it's a delicious cracker with melted cheese, meats, veggies on top of it. and it's delicious. It really is good. And we've always wanted to do food.
So when did you start doing food?
We did that in August of 2020.
Okay.
And we had to do that and switch over and get our restaurant permit. So we're a restaurant, bar and grill, which
was basically to help you stay open.
We had to do that in order to be able to reopen. And so
and you think about what's the reasoning behind the government policies to make you do that? Because what's the difference between the shop now and a year ago? Your customers are coming for cigars. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're coming for their drinks. They're not coming for a cheese tray. They may love the cheese tray, but that's not, hey, let's go to the train car and get a cheese tray. Mm-hmm. They never say that, I promise you. But they say, let's get a cigar and a drink, and hey, we'll have a cheese tray.
Exactly. And we do like having the food. Like I said, we've wanted to do the food for a long time, because if people are here and you're having a cigar, it's a little bit stronger than you thought. You might say, you know what, I need to stop smoking and I need to get myself a bite to eat. Well, now having food available, they don't have to leave my business. They can keep on being my customer instead of leaving to be someone else's customer, which is nice. But every time we've run the numbers, it didn't make financial sense. It just wasn't, it was a losing venture until it was perfect financial sense. You can't be open if you're not doing it.
Right.
Hey, this makes sense all of a sudden.
Right.
So I was frustrated. I dealt with a lot of anger for a while.
I talked to you on the phone a few times, and I was like, I felt bad for you because I could hear your anger, but I understood why.
Yep.
Because it was like, we are supposed to be supporting mom and pop brick and mortars, and the government is making it to where I can't. Mm-hmm. And then you see what the government is doing to help other entities. And it's like, well, how come they don't care about me? Mm-hmm. I mean, and they basically put it to where you couldn't have employees because they made it to where employees would make more money if they stayed home.
Yeah, that was another issue. Yeah. Well, one of the things that still, I just, that's anytime you get government involved anywhere, it seems to be that issue that you get more government, more regulation. My argument was, you have a drink, you have a cigar, you keep consuming, you keep having a drink out of that bottle, out of that glass. Nobody's touching that glass. It's not getting dirtier. But bars couldn't be open. But you could go to a restaurant and drink just as many drinks. Right. So you'd have the exact same consumption. But now you got a plate of French fries in the middle, and we're all touching them. Our hands are touching our phones. They're touching our table, our chairs, touching the food. It goes into our mouth. People are then licking their fingers, grabbing the next bite, doing it. You're reaching into the same basket of it. And I don't think they should have closed down restaurants either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they shouldn't have closed the other direction. Pick and choose. And
I can understand the shutting down a club where people are dancing and everybody is just all over the place. There's no way to social distance in that scenario. Mm-hmm. But a bar where I go in, where I can sit down and have a smoke and a drink, there's no difference between that and a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I understood your pain and I understood your frustration. And that's one of the reasons that we, try to tell people about you, because I knew you were struggling as a business owner. And so that started in about March or April?
It was March.
So it started right out of the gate.
Yeah, March 18th.
Wow. And you were telling me earlier that the shutdown for you guys came before there were even any cases here. At one point when we were closed in the beginning there wasn't an active case in our community and our business was closed. And that was what was so frustrating. And I'd say it's an analogy to boarding up all of our windows and closing our businesses when a hurricane's hitting Houston, that we needed to be ready to move and we need to be ready to respond to it. But a carte blanche across the board, and nobody knew what they were doing. You got to give them that. I mean, nobody knew what. It was the first time. Nobody lived 100 years. Yep. So, you give them some grace for a little while, but then you expect common sense to come back around. And sometimes it does, and sometimes more often it doesn't.
It didn't.
Right. So you've got the food available now. So you guys have been back open since when?
In the end of August. So we've been open since the end of August. And we opened in between on there, so we had to close. Then we got to reopen. And I don't have the dates, but about sometime in June again, the governor reclosed bars. And that was just no warning. So we made it through. We were doing that. We've kept on.
Keep on keeping on.
Keeping on. So we've kept on making whatever changes and adaptations we had to. Another thing that we did is we did go online. So we do have our cigars online. They can go to shop.thetraincar.com. And I'm getting more and more of our cigars on there. A lot of our brands are, but there's some that I haven't got on that I keep realizing, and hey man, I got to get this on there. If someone wants to buy it and they call me, I'll build it online. I'll get the photos. I'll get it built and put onto there. But that's been pretty fun. And we've done some different deals with that. And that was a difficult decision too. I wanted to be a brick and mortar. I didn't want to be an online retailer. The whole point of brick and mortar is not going online.
Right.
But I think it is a difference when the brick and mortar is just extending itself through the online versus
and that's the way we support online sales.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a brick and mortar, more power to you, because you have to compete at some level online to support the local. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so like Jay has started doing that more, and they don't really have a website where you can order online, but they have a website where you can call. So,
Yep.
you know, and I've seen that evolution in Jay and the Leaf just over the last probably year.
Mm-hmm.
Same with you. You guys have to adapt to what is thrown at you. And so,
12 months ago right now, I don't think I would have
thought about it.
We talked about it, and it would have been a cool idea, but I had an ethical issue with it almost. But I've changed my perspective and paradigm. Part of it's, survival. But on the other side, if I got a guy that's in Minnesota and he calls me and he says, "Hey man, I heard that you have a box of, Chromag EMH. Can I buy those?" I wasn't going to tell him no.
Right.
So the online is just not having to answer that phone and do it, which I still love that in person, whether it's face to face over the phone. I enjoy that, but you can't do that. Or if I'm talking to you on the phone right now, Luke can't give me a call and buy a cigar from me because I'm talking to Rob right now. So the internet.
And when you're talking to Rob, you don't put him on hold.
We don't put him on hold. We don't tell him we'll call him later.
Whatever.
We got to stroke that ego.
It's little. Doesn't take long.
Ego's an ego.
So how's it been since you were able to open back in August? How much of your business has come back? I mean, because you were doing, I want to go back before we get to that, because you guys were doing some badass events.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that was one of the things that when I thought of events, I thought about you guys, because y'all were doing some cool stuff. And so have you done any events since August?
No. We did a virtual event with Drew Estate, and we had some people that came live and sat outside on the patio and did that. And it was very successful still. But I miss doing events the way we used to, and having really cool events with our cigar events.
Who cooked the steak?
We'd have music events.
LFD?
That was LFD and Crowned Head. So Jonathan Carney and Brian McGee came out, and they had the steak off.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And that's kind of transformed now, which is cool. They've kept doing it, and they're doing the gourmet meat sessions on YouTube, and you can actually watch that on Mondays, and they do that. Fred Rui joins in, formerly Nomad Cigars. And then for the steak off, it was a blast, and there was audience choice. There was
and who won?
So Carney won.
Nice.
Yeah, so he beat the Texan, but no.
Brent's drank a lot since then.
That's a long time ago. I don't think he did. I think McGee won.
That's been about 3 years ago, huh?
Yeah. No.
No,
that was a year ago, September.
Oh wow,
my goodness. I don't know. We're gonna have to have them come back. We're gonna have to have them come back and compete off. But so it was. I should know this. This is horrible. I should have. We're gonna have to edit this. No.
You didn't know. We don't edit on this.
We
show.
don't edit it out. So when we make an ass of ourselves, we show our ass.
That's right. So you haven't been able to do any events. So have you looked at events coming up? I mean, or where are you at?
We're trying to work on that. And I think we will be able to this year. It was McGee who won, though. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hats off to McGee.
Oh, yeah. It was good. So, let's see here. We're planning events. I think we're going to probably have like another Drew Estate virtual event, and that'll be April 8th, as long as nothing changes, but it's going to be virtual, and that's how Drew Estate's doing theirs. I'd like to work with some of our other vendors. I'm going to be working with Roma Craft. I'm going to work with Oveja Negra. I want to get a black label event, and then all of our other vendors who we do events with. We want to get that going. I don't know what their company's policies are yet.
Right.
And I'm not sure some of it's that social perspective of it, that you don't want to be looking like you're being irresponsible either. Even if you're doing everything safely and doing it right, that it can be a real, well, I guess the social media world can get offended by everything now. So
yeah, and that can go fast.
Oh yeah. So we want to do it safe. We want to do it right. But I think that we are going to be able to get that going again. We need to get live music going again. We have live music here normally Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. As long as everything goes right, we're hoping to start live music again on St. Patrick's Day this year.
Oh, nice.
So that'd be pretty exciting.
Now, what day of the week is that?
I think it's a Wednesday this year, which is kind of off for that, but it'd be a fun way to start. And that's been what we've done before. Instead of starting huge, I think it could be a pretty good turnout still. But even instead of opening in the middle of summer with great weather, we opened up in December. And the reason we opened up in December was it allowed us
to get your feet on the ground,
to get our feet without just people everywhere just jumping and going crazy. So.
Right. You want to be able to meet the demand, and you grew yourself into that. Because if you would have started in summer with live music, a bar, and cigars, you would have got hammered.
We might not be able to handle the people. We wouldn't have been able to get our groove.
Now, you remember, I guess it's been about a year and 2 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, a year and 4 months ago, I was talking about doing a Cigar Talk event.
Mm-hmm.
I am so thankful I pulled the plug on that, because that was right in the smack of COVID.
You could have lost a lot of money, unfortunately.
Because I was going to do that in April.
Mm-hmm.
I would have taken a cleaning on that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a blessing that came to not happen.
Instead of saying it didn't happen, this hasn't happened yet.
It's postponed.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
And,
we'll see what happens.
We still want to do that someday, but right now we're just concentrating on getting the show out each week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Kind of like you're open every day.
That's right.
Each day is its own day.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about some of the hot stuff you've been smoking.
Oh, man, I've been jumping all over. But, I mean, one of my fallbacks, as you mentioned, is Romelcraft. I smoked that quite a bit. I've been smoking a fair amount of Foundation cigars, that CT142. Love that cigar. The Huehuense, both the original with the blue band on it, as well as the Maduro with the red band. Loving those. LFD. Can't keep someone on the shelf, which is, everyone's issue within reason, but I just try to carry heavy on any of that. And as long as you keep enough on order.
What's your go-to on the LFD?
Probably the Chapter 2.
I love the Chapter 2 too. Mm-hmm. That wrapper, it's like a velvet, nice, rich colored brown. It's not super dark and it's not light. It's red.
Exactly. And it's beautiful.
It is.
I've got 2 customers who really love the Colorado Oscuro No. 4. And so we try to keep that available in stock, but that's an interesting cigar because, once a year you get to order it and then you can get it throughout the year, but it's, if you don't plan right, I can understand the sympathy for a shop who says, well, I just want to get more. Well, if you didn't order it, you don't know, but you don't know where your customers are going to shift and change.
Right.
And say that you say, oh, I need to get 200 or 500 or 1,000 sticks this year, whatever the number is, and the demand drops or the demand doubles or triples. It is what it is, unfortunately. And that's why you carry a lot of good cigars. And so we've just slowly been working on, since 2018, though, building our inventory and having backstock and having that so we can weather. When we started, I didn't have a backup box of every cigar that I carried. Sometimes what was on the shelf was what I had. And if you came in and said, I want to buy a box of them, I couldn't do it to start. But we were on limited budget. We were on limited space and been working on growing that quite a bit. And so that's a lot more fun too.
Well, when we get done, I've got a couple of cigar people I want you to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing amazing work, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, so how engaged are you and Camilla now? Is Camilla still here all the time, or
not all the time?
Is she busy doing other things?
Well, so our kids we have 3 children, and they're all homeschooling now. So
nice.
That's a lot of work on that. But Camilla was a teacher before, and so she's very passionate about education, and I think she can give them a better education than they could get in a cookie cutter. Nothing against public school, but I think that what she's doing is so amazing for our children.
Does she need me to get her a copy of the STAR test?
No, I think we'll pass on that.
I got a brother that's a teacher. I might be able to get him to slip me one.
So, but she is up in and out still and gets to do that. And she's the most passionate one still on the hospitality. I'm big on it, but she's got a knack for that. And she's the reason we're so successful with our hospitality.
She's the brains of the operation.
And the looks.
Yeah, both.
This probably should have been an audio only episode since I don't have
Well, when I got here and found that out, I was like, if I could have had my choice who was watching the kids, you might not be sitting here. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at doing some events starting in, was that March?
March. Yeah, we'll have some music in March, at least a virtual event in April, but it'll probably still be where you can come in here as well. But I believe with that one, you do have to be logged in on the Zoom in order to qualify for some of the swag and prizes and things.
Okay.
But you can log in on your phone. You can be logging on a laptop, things like that.
So, yeah, you don't meet anybody now that doesn't already have Zoom.
Exactly. It's just built in on their phones.
Right.
You know,
so that's cool. So what about cigars? I mean, we talked a little bit about what you've been really enjoying smoking lately. What are you looking for over the next few months as far as cigar companies and what you're looking for? Well,
hopefully, I believe it's May 21st, but this is the next trip that I want to be taking is Weasel Fest at Romacraft. And so hopefully that's going to be coming out.
Is that going to be May 21st?
I believe it's the 21st. I'm not, it might be the 29th, something, but it's May. It's May of 21. I couldn't tell you the exact date. But,
okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
Now, have you been before?
So I've been to the headquarters before. I had tickets for the last Weasel Fest, and then they had to postpone it because of COVID. But I did get the boxes, so I've got the Weasel Fest box and the same shape that you were smoking right now here, with all 8 blends.
Oh, and nice!
It's awesome. I got a box. I'll show you. So
he says, "Show you." Yeah, I've got a good friend and Patreon member, Z, and he loves Romacraft. He's been showing me all these limited edition boxes that he's been getting. So he would probably love to come here too. And the cool thing is he lives in California, but he's in Texas pretty regular.
Oh, really?
So I'm getting him to come down to the Leaf, but we talked about the train car yesterday because I told him we're coming over here. And one of our other Patreons was like, "Oh, I've been there. It's a great shop." And went on and on.
That's awesome.
And you know what he said? Pick up some Island Gym while you're there. So you're well known for being the guy with Island Gym.
We always have it in stock. It's good stuff. So,
well, I love that stick just because it's, when you smoke it, it's like you're taking on a certain level of laid back, easy going spirit. You know what I mean?
Wahoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So what do you got planned for the actual train car over the next, say year, 2 years? Well, any expansion? If we can
additions?
Get back on,
if we can get back on track this year, if just not throttled down.
Whoa, that was up high.
That's on fire. What we wanted to do last year, so January, February of 20 were amazing. It looked like it was going to be a great year. And so our porch that's up on top, looking out over the patio, we've got those panels that we have custom built out of Lexan and 1x4s around that. Instead of having those panels that come up and down, what we really want to do is have retractable garage doors with the glass windows in them.
Oh, nice.
Where we could always enclose the porch and open it up again. Just, and whoever's working solo could be doing that. So, you're having a summer afternoon and a rain comes in or a cold front.
Because right now
we can close it down. It
takes person.
No, it's a 3-man, 4-hour job to do that.
Well, it looks super nice.
Well, thank you very much.
And what I love about it is you have this nice patio. Was there like 3 or 4 tables right there?
Yep.
And it's like you're covered, so you're not sitting in the sun, but you can see everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter, it's warm enough to where you can still sit out on the patio.
Other than last week, yes.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a minute. You guys know Texas was hit by a major winter storm, and I know there's lots of people who still have not recovered. You were talking about earlier, you got another water line busted.
Yep. We had, right before we started recording, my son found water bubbling up from the ground. A pipe underground must have frozen and burst at our house. So
how old is he?
He's 9 years old tomorrow.
I'm impressed that he would even notice.
Oh, yeah. He's very observant.
Because when I was 9, I would have been like, oh, cool. There's a good place to start digging a hole, you know.
Play in the mud.
Yeah. So I'm impressed by that. But anyway, how was the winter storm affecting the shop?
It took out power only a little bit for us, but with the rolling blackouts, we didn't open and we had pipes freeze. So we didn't have water at all those times. So you couldn't open without having running water for your bathrooms and things like that. So we actually wound up having to close Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were able to reopen this past Thursday. And so it was just good to be open again. And I would meet somebody up here if they needed cigars, something like that. I'd come up every day and I'd be checking on pipes, checking on power, just keeping an eye on the business. It's like a baby. You got to check on it. The business is
right.
It's like our fourth child.
Oh, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
That doesn't grow up.
Right. Ever.
Yeah.
So how about your staff? Do you have a new staff compared to when you were open last year? Is it all new staff, or do you have some people that you still had before from the COVID?
So we have a very skeleton staff right now. Just haven't started rehiring. We don't want to hire to have to let people go. I mean, we're trying to keep them with their hours, keep that going. Paula and Alicia have both been here over a year now, but Alicia had started just before COVID basically. And so that was real iffy that, she just started. And then all of a sudden we had to start, closing during last year. And that was tough. And then, got a young man named AJ, and he's really good. He started out as a bar back for us, but he's shown an interest in the cigars and stepped up into doing some bartending, cigar tending as well. But I've just got the 3 staff at the moment, and it's been a long time since we've only had 3 people working for us.
Yeah, because I think maybe the last time I was here, you had several people on staff.
Went up to a dozen at some points, and so yeah, it's sad as far as what it's done. We'd have up to 8 people working during one shift sometimes during Friday, Saturdays, a year ago, year and a half now, I suppose, but summer of 2019. We'd have, bar back, 2 bartenders, 2 cocktail waitresses, an outdoor bar, and a manager on hand.
Yeah, because I remember when me and Tim came down here and there was a live, I think there was 2 different live bands that night, but you had a big staff, and I mean, all of them were busy nonstop. And I mean, it was a big time. In fact, that was the time me and Tim came down and got a hotel room because I was like, I ain't going to want to drive. We're going to have a good time.
It's too much fun. We can't leave.
Well, dude, because y'all's cabanas down on the end, those are so cool.
I love that. You can listen to music. You can still have a conversation.
At the end of this show, we're going to actually have a walk around, and we're going to walk around and film everything so you can get an idea of what it's like to go to the train car. And it's the middle of the afternoon. There's not going to be a lot of people here, which is kind of cool, so I can walk around taking video. But usually on the weekends, I remember this place was packed. I mean, really, is there another place in Big Spring that people go? I mean, to just relax and have fun?
There are, but nothing. I don't think there's anything that has the same feel that we are. So, I mean, our tagline, what we're going for is casual social interaction at its finest. And if you were to pick one word to describe the train car, it's been this way since we opened. It's relax. That, sometimes it doesn't seem to make sense. You got live music and people everywhere and relax.
Right.
But that's what it is. We're not trying to get this.
You're not doing a rave.
Yeah. It's still, you're able to relax, have a good time, meet up with friends, sit on your own.
Well, what also is great
spread out
is you have a unique environment because, like I said, you've got 6 cabanas at the end. So you can be with your own group and not really be engaging with all the other people that are here. And then you have different places in the courtyard where people can sit together and it's more open. And then you have the patio, and I know people that sit on the patio always sit on the patio. And then during all of that, me and Tim came in here and sat in the train car lounge car, and it's nice and quiet. You can relax and talk. So you provide an environment for just about any type of experience.
Exactly.
And that's what makes this place really cool.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, barring extreme weather, the lounge doesn't get as much foot traffic as I would like to see. I love sitting down here in the lounge where we're recording right now. And this is
my favorite place to be.
Same here. But a lot of people like that outdoor area.
Sure.
It's nice. I mean, we're in Texas and we got great weather most of the time. I mean, at least once or twice during the day, we'll have good weather.
Right.
In and out.
In the morning and in the evening in the summer. But y'all get that kind of a cool breeze in the evening, don't you?
We do.
See, we don't get that in Abilene.
Oh, really?
It's just hot.
Just hot. That's no fun.
Yeah. So you guys are you told me just when I talked to you, I think a couple of days ago, you said y'all were getting ready to redo the furniture in here.
We've started on that now. So we've replaced the love seat at the end and then 4 chairs so far. And then so everything is hard to find right now. I have a friend who owns a furniture store. Was trying to get through him and he couldn't find. And pretty soon he said, if you can find it anywhere, get it. So we couldn't find everything, but we found the first third of the lounge right now. We did that portion. And we're going to work our way through. We're going to do some more kitchen remodel as well because of the food that we're doing now. Right now in the bar car, there's 3 panes. There's the window and then the doors and the window. And we want to switch it so it goes door, window, and we can move our bar 4 foot forward.
Oh, nice.
3 foot, probably 3.5.
Yeah.
And then the goal is that once all of our, hopefully the world moves beyond COVID and COVID life and COVID restrictions, where the bar L's, it's up against that window, but we want a window that opens and closes. So once again, you can sit at the bar at the train car because there is no bar seating any longer. If you notice, we used to have the bar seating when you'd walk
right
to the
on
left.
the backside.
All that's gone. And we saw the writing on the wall. We knew that wasn't going to be a 2-week, 3-week thing. It was to be a long time. And so we just restructured how we were set up to function best without having that space wasted. And so once I can get that door moved, the problem is the doors and windows in here they're old. And so trying to find the right pieces to get that moved over, we're not sure how easy that'll be. So we've had a couple glass guys trying to get us an answer, but so far I haven't gotten a response from anybody on making it doable.
I figured you just watch a YouTube video and do it yourself.
We talked about it until I started looking at it and I was like, this is beyond me. Those panels of glass are heavy. And I don't want to drop one. And then all of a sudden, what do? When I don't have a glass guy who can just do it, and I've already gone around him, he's not gonna drop everything to fix it for me. So
I thought maybe you're gonna put just like those cowboy swinging doors.
And that's a thing. That's a thing.
Everybody loves swinging doors. So what's Camilla doing as far as the train car right now? I mean, is she doing the marketing for you guys, or is she keeping you in line? What is she doing?
She definitely is the one who has to keep us in line.
She's the responsible one.
She is, and then she also is good as far as making sure that our staff is taken care of. I mean, she's just really good about that, and just the personnel and the people side of it. She's the one who's been picking out the furniture, doing those things, doing the plans with the kitchen. We've got larger sinks and like a glassware dishwasher we're planning to put in if we can make that happen this year. That's the plan, and I think we're going to accomplish our plan this time.
Nice.
As long as nothing major kinks our plans this time.
Yeah, spin the wheel, see what happens.
Exactly. So, and then even on the drink side, on a lot of that stuff, as far as the consistency of the drinks and those sides, she's still more over the bars than I am, and then I'm still over the cigar side quite a bit more. And the cigar side is my main passion in this, but I love it all.
Yeah. So whenever you're coming into the time of year for Texas to have a lot of more evening activities outside. So, I mean, I would think that you're fixing to start seeing an increase of business over the next few months. I mean,
we should be. That's the plan.
February is a tough month because it's cold. I mean,
oh yeah.
And this year was crazy cold, but so far, but in March, you're going to get cold. You're going to get some wind. April, you'll still have some wind, but the temperature in the evening is usually just perfect.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like Aruba in Texas in the evenings in the spring and early summer.
For a week or two.
Yeah, for a week or two, and then you're in Arizona.
Exactly. But no, that's enjoyable. But yeah, every winter, COVID was no exception. The wintertime, it slows down incrementally. It's a big slowdown in the winter. Our summer is, the phrase, make hay when the sun shines. That's when we make hay. That's when we gather our acorns to survive through the winter. And then we just make our way through that winter waiting again. So it's pretty seasonal for us. Cigars are a little bit more consistent, but there are a fair amount of people who don't smoke a cigar unless they're here while they're having drinks. And so the whole, when in Rome, if you're at the cigar bar, enjoy a cigar.
Right.
But not all of them would end up just smoking a cigar and coming in and buying, a handful of cigars and smoking them throughout the week in their backyard. That when they're at the train car, they smoke cigars. When they're not, they don't.
Well,
so
yeah.
Here.
My friend Tim only smokes cigars whenever we have a video herf or he's with me.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. And he loves them when we're together, but he doesn't really smoke them when he's not with me. And so, but that to be said, you guys, I think you'll really be gearing up, and maybe 2021 is your year to recoup.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you look at COVID, even with the vaccines becoming available, I'm really hoping that we can get past that whole stigma of not being able to go anywhere, and we can start getting out and being social again. Cause that's really what cigars are about, is being social.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I smoke some cigars by myself and I enjoy those, but my favorite cigar time is whenever I'm hanging out with good friends.
I agree. On occasion that you get that, where you can re-energize on your own with a cigar, but for the most part, it is kind of a social activity. But I'm going to go back, like you had said with Tim on that. And that's one of the things I think is it's such a good testament that cigars aren't the same as a cigarette or other tobacco products, that, if someone's a cigarette smoker, they're usually a cigarette smoker.
Right.
Where then with a cigar, it's that when someone wants to enjoy one, and I think I've said this before on the show, even we did a 17-day road trip with our kids, and I didn't need to be finding a place to smoke a cigar 2 or 3 times a day. I mean,
right.
When we're busy. If you're not going to enjoy the cigar, you don't, hide in an alley behind the building.
When I got the wife and the kids in the car, I just rolled the window down about this far. You remember that, didn't you? Did your parents smoke?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you were like 5 or 6, Dad lit up the cigarette driving down the road and cracked the window about 2 centimeters.
Yep,
and you'd just be like, I can't breathe. And he'd be like, the window's down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of grew up in that era. So that's kind of the way I see it. I'm probably, my son can attest that I'm not the new parenting style.
Yeah.
I'm still old school. Of course, we talked about it earlier. You're 39.
What are you, 52,
50?
Rob?
Well, no, not yet. Not yet. My wife hit 52 last week, and I'll be 52 in 2 weeks.
Oh, there you go.
You saw the fall I took.
Yeah.
So
that
was rough.
I'm glad you were able to make it here today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up here at the Train Car, but we're fixing to do a walk around video. So don't go anywhere. We'll put up the thank you to all our Patreons. And then right after that, we'll have the video tour of the shop. So until next time, keep smoking.
Keep smoking, baby.